It's the workouts on set piece day 2 here for Usyk, Dubois 2 at Wembley. We have a special feature for you today, Gadcam from ringside, watching Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois work out. We've got an array of interviews that Spencer and I have conducted today with the team, and we've even got a special discussion with Eddie Hearn, who says that Anthony Joshua may end up fighting Jake Paul. All of that to come. It's the Fight Night Daily podcast with me and Spencer. Spence, nothing from you for a moment. Let's go straight to Gadcam at ringside.
Professional record, 22 wins, 2 defeats, with 21 of his 22 wins coming by way of knockout. This Saturday, he will be the reigning and defending IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Triple D.
There he is, Daniel Dubois. He's in the ring. He's in the ring. He's enjoying the moment. What do you think, Spence?
Yeah, he looks great. He looks really good, mate. Focused, ready to rock and roll.
Enjoying the crowd.
He's relishing the crowd. Now that was the big question mark, what we thought when he boxed Ellie Scotney in the same venue, Wembley Stadium, back in September. Would he freeze on the occasion, the 90,000 people? But guess what? He's actually grown with it. He's taking it all in and he's feeding off it. He's loving this moment. The words from himself was all the belts. He's always wanted all the belts, now he gets the opportunity.
He's enjoying the heat in here as well. A lot of support for him as well. Look at it all. Loads of support. You see the whole team enjoying the moment with him. Everyone's behind him. All the support, Spencer. All the support for him. Very good, Jim.
Let's take a look at Daniel Dubois, the focus in his face, the glint in his eye, the smile. Don Charles up on the ring. Take a look at Don Charles on the ring. These guys are supremely confident. They fancy the job. We've got a real fight in our hands.
We certainly have got an amazing fight in our hands on Saturday night.
Looking dialed in, looking ready to go. How confident are you 3 days out?
Well, long intro there, but a lot to get through today. We were right up close with Daniel Dubois with those spectacles that I had on, filming you, filming him, us being filmed. It's a very, very special moment for Daniel Dubois this week. And you said it there while we were watching him. There's an energy that he's enjoying at the moment.
There's been an energy through this whole 14-week camp with Daniel Dubois. This is the moment that he's been heading for his whole life. You know, there's a storyboard goes back to when he was 13 years of age, and all the posts say on it, road to all the belts. Now this is the opportunity. You know, this is a big, big moment for Daniel Dubois. It won't come round again for the undisputed world heavyweight title, and he wants to take it. You can see a glint in his eye.
I liked his physicality. I liked the way he looked in the ring, by the way. We were right there in the middle of his team. They're all there behind him, loads of support. We wandered around the fans as well. Everyone's split on this fight.
They are. I mean, people are giving Daniel Dubois a real shot, you know. We're talking about Oleksandr Usyk, not just a modern day great, but generational great. You know, we're talking about a guy that is undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight, beat everyone there is to beat. Boxing's all about timing, and if anyone at the moment in the world can give Oleksandr Usyk problems, it could be Daniel Dubois, and this could be his moment.
Did he show us anything there when we were up with Gadcam that we haven't seen before?
Still that he's not phased. You know, I think that we saw that against Anthony Joshua. That was the $1 million question. Was he going to walk out, 90,000 fans, Wembley Stadium, bam, rabbit in the headlights and freeze? No, he fed off it. He looked like a Terminator. He went in there and got the job done. And I feel that he's going to do the same here against Oleksandr. It's going to be his moment. Forget 2 years ago out in Poland where he went out there. That was a learning curve for him. That was a moulding of Daniel Dubois. We're going to see a different guy here. And I think that 90,000 strong crowd is going to go in his favour.
Well, if Daniel Dubois was impressive, take a look at this fella. The guy who's already been the undisputed champion twice against Tyson Fury last year. He's already beaten Daniel Dubois. We went up close on the ring apron to have a look at him as well. He is, as I said to you at the time, there's something so majestic about him, and his vision is bigger than boxing. It reminds me of Manny Pacquiao, Muhammad Ali, that his vision is bigger than just boxing. And it's not about himself, you said it, it's about he's doing it for his country.
Do you know what it is, Gareth? That sometimes when you get a superstar of the sport, as I said up there, or a guy that's got that aura about him, you know when they're in the room, you know, and you're talking about, you know, like, I'm not comparing him to the likes of Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, and all that, but what I'm saying is they had that aura where you knew they were in the room. That guy's got something about him, something that's special. When he got in there, you could just feel his presence. It's probably a better way of putting it, you know, and I think that, you know, he's going to be a tough guy to beat. We may all we're saying, oh yeah, we're hinting at, but it's Daniel Dubois. It could be the time Sunday morning comes, we may wake up and go, what was we ever thinking? I mean, we're talking about greatness here.
We are. The big question for me is, to you, as pundit, analyst, journalist to fighter, when you know you've got an entire country behind you, does that raise you up when the fight starts?
Of course, because it's how you control those emotions. You know, because boxing is such an emotional game that if you can't control those and you allow the emotions to get you to you, the game plan goes and you make a fundamental mistake, and at this sort of level, it's checkmate. That's where you're at with it, you know. But what Oleksandr Usyk does with those emotions is he takes them in, he feeds off them, and it brings the best out of him. The special fighters, the champions, the superstars, they're the guys that feed off the pressure, and he likes that pressure, and that's what he does there with his whole country. You know, he gives them all hope. You know, they're an idol to him, or he's an idol to them. They look up to this guy, and he feeds off that.
We'll see the two men together at the press conference tomorrow, of course, where they will exchange words. They'll go face to face. They'll be clothed, of course, tomorrow. But then afterwards, we will see how their energy is together. Earlier on today, we caught up with several of the undercard fighters. They were all brilliant. Take a look at this.
Well, Lawrence, always good seeing you, mate. We go again. Wembley Stadium this time. Your second fight as a heavyweight. You looking forward to this?
Yeah, definitely, man. Always good to see you too. Yeah, we just crack on, ready for the weekend.
Listen, where are you spending your time these days? 'Cause I know you live over in Dubai. You're training now with Joe Gallagher. How's that going?
Pardon me. Yeah, it's going well. Always intense. Always a crazy camp. But you know, at this stage of my career, it's definitely what I need.
What has Joe changed or implemented into your style? You know, now you've moved up to heavyweight.
I think it's what's the right word? I would say intensity. Definitely. In terms of the way that we train, in terms of what he wants out of my sparring, out of my all my boxing sessions, all my weight sessions, all my running sessions, he wants it intense and like meaningful.
Have you found more self-belief now as a heavyweight? Because I know that the days as a cruiserweight towards the end were a struggle.
Yeah, of
that
course,
takes away a lot of self-confidence, and maybe we saw that in your recent performances or your last performances as a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
The heavyweight debut was sensational. We didn't see a lot of it, first round knockout.
Yeah.
But have you taken a lot of confidence moving up in heavyweight?
Oh, definitely. You know, it's just the fact is now everything is based around the fight as opposed to before everything was based around getting to the weight. So now in training, you know, I'm able to fuel up between every session, put my best foot forward in every session, and then now when it comes to the fights, I'm just locked in on what I need to do in the ring as opposed to all the other stuff outside. Everything is geared towards performing on the day, so I'm loving that.
Let's talk about the fight. Saturday night, Wembley Stadium, massive occasion, undisputed world heavyweight title. We'll talk about that in a minute, but let's talk about your opponent, Kevin Lorena. Dangerous guy, by the way. You're now WBO #1. You're in a great position. And Lorena is one of those guys, we saw what he'd done to Dubois, you know, against Justice Hooney last time as well. He had him in all sorts of trouble. Why him?
Oh, well, he's currently WBC Bridgerweight world champion. I'm #1 with the WBC as well, so it's a great fight to kind of solidify myself as the #1 with the WBC, and then, you know, with a victory, it pushes me on to either like a mandatory shot or like a fight against Caballero. So it's the right one, you know, in this heavyweight journey.
Is that the journey? Like, because Caballero, many people will say is the most feared man in the heavyweight division right now, coming off his recent performances, or the danger man. Let's rephrase that. The danger man of the division. Is that the path that you want to take?
Yeah, definitely. Look, anyone who would have been above me would be who I would be after. Caballero happens to be the interim world champion, so we don't know what's going to happen on Saturday with Dan and Usyk. So, you know, he might just become elevated to world champion, or it might be a fight with him for the mandatory spot. So whatever it takes in it just to get to the world title.
Can you give us any insight into that? Because we get the undisputed title again, and this is the second time now that it's come around for Oleksandr Usyk. Where do them belts fragment straight away? Do you know anything about that, when any sort of titles will become vacant or whatnot?
No, I don't. I believe with Usyk, he said he only has 2 more fights left, this being one of the 2. So it means that, say he was able to win, he might keep onto them for 1 more, or he might let all of them go and have 1 more somewhere else. So it becomes a lot more plausible that the belts become fragmented with a Usyk win. But if Dan wins, he might want to, you know, be the undisputed. I've got all the belts. I'll defend all of them. So it just creates lots of dynamics. But you know, we have to wait and see.
What do you think about that main event, by the way, with Oleksandr and Daniel? Do you think it's good timing for Daniel?
Yeah, it remains to be seen. Do you know what I mean? I just think Usyk's such a talented fighter, and you know, we speak about Dan's run of form where he beat, you know, Hrgovic, Big Baby Miller, and Anthony Joshua, but you know, Usyk's has been 2 Tyson Fury, Dan maybe, age like, so he's had just as good, if not better. So anyway, I think you'd favour Usyk, but something about Dan's energy seems like he might do what I think is necessary, which is go for it for 6 or 7 rounds and see if you can get the shot. Because you're not going to beat him on points, you're not going to out-condition him down the stretch, so you might as well see if you can get it done early.
Have you sparred both of them, Dan?
I haven't sparred Usyk, but I've sparred loads of rounds with Dan.
All right, yeah. What do you think are his main strengths?
His main strengths are, I would say, punching power and good fundamentals, like, good jab, holds his shape well. So it's hard to just overwhelm him with, like, say you just want to get him out of there because he holds his shape well. So you'd have to sort of pick your shots. But that's one good thing about Usyk. Usyk knows how to pick shots well.
Can Dan win?
Oh yeah, of course. This is heavyweight boxing, and Dan is a more natural heavyweight than Usyk is. So if he lands properly at any point in the fight, he's got more than a punch. He's got a very good puncher's chance of winning.
If he does win, and you come through on Saturday as well, is that a fight that you would chase? You've shared the ring with him.
100%. Whatever gets me the world title, it is. If it was Usyk, if it was Dan, if anyone wins world titles, they're the ones that I want. I sparred loads of rounds with Dan, so I'm confident in that one.
Let's get back to Kevin Lorraine, your opponent on Saturday. What? Obviously, you've been working on stuff. We're not going to be talking about that. But what do you see as his main strengths, like his main dangers? Because although his record would not suggest that he's a big puncher, his timing's very good. He seems to let shots go at the right time, and he's hurt a lot of opponents.
Yeah, I think his main attribute would be being a southpaw. They're naturally good at counter punching, so they throw shots from angles that most people aren't really aware of. I think it's also he's very explosive, but knows when to take a break, and he's got a good sort of shell that he tucks up nicely with. So if you're not careful, he can conserve his energy and explode later on in rounds. So he's got good tactics. 90,000
people, Wembley Stadium. Did you ever dream about this, mate? When you go back, I know it's well documented. You working in McDonald's and taking up boxing and all that. Rewind back then and see the position that you put yourself in now, 2-weight world champion. You just look at that and you go, it's a pinch yourself moment, isn't it? Saturday night.
Yeah, it will be, but the job's not done yet. Do you know what I mean? I think I need to. The real aim is to be able to be the main event in an event like this. So I'm definitely grateful, definitely happy for the opportunity. But there's a lot more work to be done and a lot more victories to be had. Sure.
Listen, you've got to keep your eye on the prize.
For sure.
You get the job done Saturday night. Back off to Dubai. I know you've got a good life over there now. Set up your own business and whatnot. Going well over there.
Yeah, everything's going well. But like I said, I'm so focused on this chapter in my boxing career. As you said, I've won 2 world titles, I've done whatever, but this final heavyweight stage is the one I'm most excited about. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Lawrence, can't wait. Look forward to Saturday night, mate. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Sam Jones is always working. Here he is, manager of many boxers, including Adam Hamed, who you can see interviewed by Spencer Oliver on this week's extras, if you like, from the Usyk Dubois 2 event. Welcome to talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel, Mr. Sam Jones.
Hello, Gareth. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, very well. You're looking very beautifully groomed.
Thank you, mate.
Hair's good, beard's good, teeth look great, eyes are bright.
Yeah, we just need to clarify, my teeth aren't turkey teeth, but yeah. Brilliant.
Is that Turkey as in the country, or Turkey?
Where people go to get their teeth done, it's not. The hairline's modified, but the teeth, then they are natural.
So you're slightly synthetic then, yeah? Is that what you're saying?
No.
You're slightly modified?
Yeah, the hairline's been...
You're enhanced?
Been enhanced, yes.
What's the reason for being enhanced?
Because we don't want it to look like a duck pond, Gareth.
A duck pond, I love that. You are so sharp. And that's why you're brilliant in the boxing industry.
Thanks, Gareth.
I always like working with you. We always have banter, even when we're not on air.
Yeah.
You're very strong in everything you do. You create, as a journalist, when I watch you, I go, oh, there's a headline. There's a headline.
Yeah.
There's a headline.
It's unintentional.
No, that's what I want to ask you. Is it a natural facility you have for doing that?
I think, Gareth, to work in boxing, you've got to have a few... You can't be the most normal of people, and I think with my old age now, I don't really care about outside noise or opinion. You've got to just be your
authentic self,
your authentic
or
self.
Even stretch it a bit further.
It's not so much that, but as long as your authentic self, and you don't lie to the people you work with and your fighters, you survive, which is what I've done for nearly 10 years now.
I think your spin is brilliant, though, because you do... We've got Froch on fighting, and I put you in that bracket. You're very good at, and I don't, this
Carl's
is
brilliant, isn't he?
He
Carl's
is.
brilliant.
He is. And there's almost like 3 or 4 personalities there. There's the completely off the record personality. There's Carl the fighter, Carl the troll, and Carl Frochon fighting around other fighters.
Yeah.
And I feel that with you, that you've reached a stage where you can almost parody yourself when you want to really take it way out there.
Yeah, of
you
course,
know,
of
but you
course.
know what you're doing all the time.
But listen, Gareth, if you can't kind of laugh at yourself and make jokes of yourself, like if someone gives you stick, you kind of almost embrace it. That's the kind of where I'm at now, Gareth. So yeah.
Before we get on to Adam Hamed, his headline event that he had in Libya, where you stayed in Gaddafi's compound. You didn't think we'd be talking about these things today, did you? But wait, this is coming. You were managing Joe Joyce at one point.
Yes.
I want to ask you, because Joe's in limbo. You know, his family are friends of mine.
Yeah.
I often think about where he can go.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because up until the 2 defeats to Zhang and a very close defeat to Derek Chisora, in which his stock didn't fall, simply Derek's rose. And Derek's a weirdo in that way.
Yeah.
He can just get up for any fight.
Yeah.
And the more you hit him, the better he gets almost.
Yeah.
What's your view? I don't know if you're still close to Joe.
Listen.
What
Joe,
should he do?
Joe, when I say this, I owe Joe everything. I love him to pieces, and all I ever wish for is the best for Joe. The Joe that's now wasn't the Joe that I knew. Not that I knew. That's the wrong word. He was not the same fighter he was
When he came out of the Olympics, when he should have got gold in 2016.
Yeah, exactly. When Joe, there was a point in time with Joe where you can ask many people on the circuit. He was destroying people in sparring. He was ferocious on fight night. I didn't see that guy from the first Zhang fight. Now, sometimes the mind is willing, but the body won't follow, and I think that there's been elements of that of Joe. But it's very difficult for me to talk about Joe, genuinely, about his performances, because I've not been around for a while now. I went and did my own thing.
Because he was your first
absolutely, but Joe's
investiture into boxing, really, wasn't it? That's why I wanted to ask.
But it's deeper than that with Joe. I love him to pieces. I just want him to be secure financially and healthy. And listen, I gave my thoughts. I don't like to say, Joe should retire. It's not my place, do you understand? But I don't want to see Joe in the ring anymore.
With a Moses Itauma
because Joe, I don't want him to not say keep losing to people he shouldn't be losing to, but I know the Joe of 2018, 19, the Dubois when he beat Daniel Dubois, that Joe wouldn't be losing to these fights that he's losing, in my opinion. But I don't know, it's very difficult for me to word because
you're caught up in it. I can feel it. It's an emotional process for you.
It's a hard subject for me to talk about, genuinely.
Yeah, I can feel it. I genuinely
when you ask me
feel
the
it.
question, I'll always give you an honest answer. But my opinion is Joe's achieved great things in boxing, and I don't want to see him take punches no more, Gareth.
In a fight week like this, you've got Adam Hamed, obviously, who is the son of one of the most famous boxers ever.
The most exciting fighter there's ever been, Gareth. There's never been a more entertaining, more exciting fighter than Prince Naseem Hamed. And I will stand on that till the day I drop
on entertainment levels, there's no question about
Correct.
it. And annoyingly, Naz and I aren't speaking much at the moment. I love Naz. We had a little bit.
Try and reconnect.
No, I'd love to. I mean, I've got.
He'll be there this week.
I think he's amazing.
We shouldn't hold grudges in this life.
I don't
Gareth.
hold grudges.
Yeah,
I don't.
we shouldn't do that.
No, we fell out one day when I filmed
There's
him.
lots
and
of
he didn't
people that
want
aren't
to be
that
filmed.
you would think you wouldn't really go for a drink with or eat with. But listen, we all have differences of opinions, and we shouldn't hold grudges in this life.
Well, I covered some of his career. I've always got on very well with him. But anyway, I've got so much love for Naz Hamed. I've got so much love for his children.
Yeah.
I agree. In terms of pure ability, natural rawness, excitement levels.
Concerts coming to the ring.
Yeah, exactly. He was very, very
goat.
special.
He's the
very,
goat
very
at
special.
that.
There's a lot of great fighters in history, but he's definitely up there. He's definitely up there. He pulled me up on it one day and said, I'm the #1 British boxer of all time. I think I put him down as 4 or something, and he wasn't happy about it.
I think
that's
it's
not why he
between
was
him and
unhappy
Lennox.
with it.
I think it's between him and Lennox and Joe Calzaghe are the three
Ken
three
Buchanan's
kings.
in there as well.
Yeah,
by
for
the
sure.
way.
But for me, they're the 3 kings: Naz, Joe Calzaghe, and Lennox.
Well, you've got his son. You're managing his son's boxing career.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a lot of talks with Naz, which is why I bring him up as well.
He's big boss. He's big
He
boss.
is the big boss.
He's big boss.
He knows the nuts and bolts of the industry. He made so many great successes. I don't know if he thinks he made any mistakes or not. We always loved him with Brendan Ingle. I know life changed a little bit. He went with Oscar Suarez. He went with Manny Stewart. I think Manny Stewart for a while. Nothing wrong there because Manny Stewart is brilliant. You took Adam. I want to talk about this because you stayed in Colonel Gaddafi, the late Colonel Gaddafi's
where he
compound.
stayed. Yeah, it's where he
in
where
Libya
he
for that last event that he fought in.
In Benghazi. Well, he
Benghazi,
boxed in Libya, and wow.
How did that come about?
Do you know what? I almost need Adam to be here to kind of relive some of the stories. I can't.
He's with the stomping ground.
Yeah,
we're
some of the.
But there was a connection between Naz, wasn't there, and a politician.
But they invited Naz over
to
come and kind of present a belt and just kind of be the ambassador of the event. And
he's loved in the Arab world, isn't he? He's adored.
And they brought Adam over to box there. And listen, when you go to Libya, obviously it's the travel advice and everything. You need to get like a pardon, like presidential kind of pardon from the government.
Armed escort.
We had all of that, Gareth. As soon as we got off the plane, we were straight into a black van with guns and like it was. Did
you get guns? You mean as well? Do they give you guns to look after yourself?
We won't go there, Gareth. We won't. But no, it was an occasion where you remember it for a long time.
You were VVIPs.
Absolutely, because where we stayed, that complex, Mike Tyson had stayed there. Sure, the Gaddafi and but like all the famous people that go over to there. Naz got the huge room, but the rooms we stayed in were beautiful. And by the way, people will have their perceptions of places like Libya and Benghazi where we stayed.
It's a beautiful country.
But let me tell you something. When we went there, we got looked after like kings. We got treated remarkably well, and I cannot speak highly enough of the level of care and service that we got when we were there, because we were safe, we were comfortable. Listen, there's a lot goes on there, and it's mending that country. But all I'll say is, when people have the perceptions, it's like trying food. Don't knock it till you've tried it. Go there and make your own. If you ever manage to go there, make your own mind up. But we were treated amazing.
I
by
feel
the
the same about Iran. I've been to Iran to work.
To
Tehran and
say that again, Gareth.
Tehran.
One more time.
Tehran, and it
Brilliant.
was. And I went with 7 other journalists. It was Australia. Terry Venables was the manager of Australia at the time against Iran for the final World Cup place in '98. And I went to write a feature about Terry Venables in Iran. And we went to the British Embassy. We stayed at the Hilton in Tehran. And a lot of the other journos didn't want to go out, but I went out, as you imagine, down the bazaar. I was sitting there having tea with everyone. People stroking my hair, fascinated. We had a brilliant time. Until you go, you don't realise they were beautiful. The people.
Absolutely. It's what also Libya.
I cried when there was a call to prayer at half time. 144,000 people in the Azadi Stadium. The Alborz Mountains in the background. The Tuareg campfires burning. Honestly, I had tears in my eyes. Call to prayer at half time. It was unbelievable.
It's the same thing. When we was in Benghazi, we was in a car, and obviously Naz he prioritises his religion. So when the call to prayer was, it's massive. So he made the car pull over in the not in the middle of the road, and we went into the mosque. And Naz,
it's like a calling, isn't it? You feel it.
Naz
when you're there, it
calls
calls you.
But going back to Libya, it's colonised by Italy.
So
correct. They're very, very big on their coffee and their culture. By the way, you will never have a better cup of
the hand
coffee.
signals.
You will never have a better cup of coffee than you will in Libya.
No, I like
honest
it.
truth, it was fantastic. Great experience, and sure we'll be back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when the nations, when Africa was colonised. Anyway, without going into colonisation, you're right. Italy, there, and Ethiopia was
going deep now, aren't we?
Italy had an involvement with Ethiopia as well, if you recall. Anyway, there's a bit of history for you. It was a brilliant atmosphere. I think it was broadcast on talkSPORT as well, wasn't it? On the YouTube channel.
I don't know
was
where it was, but it
was
was
it on DAZN?
It was. I'm not sure where it was.
I
Gareth,
did
I'm
watch
honest
it,
with you.
but the atmosphere.
Boxing King Media.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Were the ones, but
it was in a dome, and the atmosphere was brilliant. It
when
was
Naz,
packed, wasn't it?
When Naz walked into that building, because listen, sometimes like when we have shows here, you see it fills up gradually throughout the night, and they get familiar. From the first bell, it was packed in there. It was one of the best atmospheres I've ever been a part of.
Look, let's talk about Adam Hamid. We've gone around the houses here, but it's fascinating.
Yes.
Because we don't get to talk about these things very
He
often.
boxed there, and then 2 weeks later he boxed in Saudi Arabia, and now here we are again.
Okay. What's he now? 6-0?
This will be his 6th fight, correct?
Okay, this is his 6th fight. He's got extraordinary talent. We know he's got fast twitch fibres. We've seen what he can do so far. He hasn't. Obviously, going up the levels, you've got to kind of bring him through carefully.
Yeah.
Big platform here on Saturday
absolutely.
night.
The biggest, and we're very grateful to George and Frank for providing Adam with this fantastic platform.
How far can he go, in your view?
As far as he wants. Now, he's got a brilliant training team. He's got a decent manager. But
who's had his hair done in Turkey?
Listen, it is.
Don't cut that out.
Yeah, don't cut that. I'm good with that, guy. If anyone wants to shout Dr. Akar
Cosmetica, tell anyone, you wouldn't
shout
have known.
it out. I know because it's done by.
Who is it again?
Dr. Akar Cosmetica. And I wasn't going completely bold, by the way. It was just gently receding, and we thought we'd intercept it before a disaster happened. What are you laughing at over there?
Well, eventually, I will go and get mine done.
This is what I mean.
Well.
So men don't need to be worried about stuff like that. It's very normal. Old Spencer's had it. It's normal. It's normal.
Did you get yours done in Turkey as well?
No, he didn't. He's on about.
Well, anyway, more about my. Well, good put down, Spencer. More about my wig later, but
going back to Adam Hamid.
Yeah.
No, but Adam.
How far can he go? Is it
as far as he wants to go? But we're not going to be rushed into
all the way. You can hear him in the background.
We're not going to be rushed into him going through the levels. We've got an idea of opponents we want to kind of go with. We're doing this, and then we're going to gently creep him up. But he's still 25. He's not an old kid. He's young. He had no amateur experience, and people forget that. Him and his brother, no amateur experience, and he will go as far as he wants to go.
Final one, Sam, and we can't wait to see him fight on Saturday night. Who have you got between Dubois and Usyk this time? Obviously, we know what happened last time. You'll have been across it all. Was it a low blow, and who will win this time?
Okay, I had a conversation with Darren Barker there quickly about low blows. If you watch Shakur Stevenson, the stabs to the body, they're on the belt line. So there's an inconsistency.
Shakur against Zepeda. He was brilliant, wasn't he?
Outstanding.
I think he's
an artist.
top 10 pound for pound now.
Easy.
And the only fight I really see him in trouble in is with Tank Davis. And I'm not sure he is in trouble in that one.
I think Shakur beats him.
Brilliant, but it needs to be made, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest fights he's got his own.
Come on, Dana and Turkey. Let's get it made.
But going on to the low blow, there's an inconsistency there. Probably the rules suggest that it was a low blow. I don't believe he hit him in the balls, Gareth. No. I believe he hit him in the solar plexus, not the solar plexus. It was just
was it borderline?
It was borderline.
So,
but
it was fine by Pabon calling it low?
I do think Usyk made a bit of a meal of it. But
I agree.
But at the end of the day, the result is the result.
Yeah.
Time waits for no man.
Yeah.
And I think, and it sounds weird, he doesn't really deserve to lose to Daniel Dubois, in my opinion, because of how great he is. But Daniel Dubois, he's kind of rejuvenated his career.
Correct.
Don Charles has been brilliant for him. Confidence levels. They've kind of turned
shown skills.
He's like an action figure. He's like an action figure where you twist his back, right, and you say you're right, go, and he's like, that's Daniel at the moment. And credit to Daniel, because a lot of people wrote him off. Yeah. Can he win? Absolutely. Will he? I'm not so sure.
So you're sitting on the fence a little bit.
I am sitting on the fence, but I would like the Brit to win, Gareth.
I wonder if the doctor can remove the splinters from your arse after this or not.
No, Gareth, you know me. If I thought something, I would say it with my chest.
You're not sure?
I'm genuinely not sure.
And if Daniel does do it, when does he do it?
The favourite in the fight is Oleksandr Usyk, and you can never say. But if you're asking me who I think, if I'm honest, if I'll give an honest opinion, I believe Usyk wins.
On points.
On points, or a late stoppage, similar to kind of what happened the first time, even though I think Daniel's a different man.
Yeah.
But am I going to be surprised if Daniel decks Usyk? Absolutely not. Good luck to him. I hope he does it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gareth.
Absolute pleasure to speak to you.
Shout out talkSPORT. Thank you.
Well, Adam Hamid, always a pleasure seeing you. Now, rewind 2 years, virtually to the day, you was making your debut out in Poland on the undercard of Daniel Dubois versus Oleksandr Usyk. 1. And here we are, Wembley Stadium.
Surreal, man. I feel like it's history repeating itself. Very, very blessed for the opportunity. I'd like to thank Frank Warren and George Warren for giving me the opportunity, and I won't disappoint.
You had a great victory out there. You've had 5 fights now,
Yeah.
going into your 6th fight. You're maturing all the time, you're improving all the time. I wanted to ask you, I know you're working with Jamie Moore, and we're going to get into that in a bit, Nigel Travis and the team. I wanted to ask you about your old man, Naz, and what sort of input he has in it.
Yeah, my pops is he's like my mentor, so like my mind coach, but in terms of the training and stuff like that, he leaves it to the coach, and I feel like that's the way it should be, you know what I mean? He trusts Jamie and Nigel a lot, and he lets them crack on, and he stays on the sidelines, and then he'll bell me and check up on me every now and then, and I feel like that's best.
Does he? I mean, look, he was one of the greatest British fighters we've ever had. An incredible talent.
Does he ever give some good spars back in the day?
We had some good spars back in the day,
yeah.
mate. We did. We spent a lot of time together. We was very fond of your dad. He was a great fighter. But I was just wondering, like, does he give you, like you say, like he's like a mentor to you? But what sort of advice would he be giving you? Like, keep out, because you've got a lot of expectation on your shoulders, a lot of pressure on your shoulders, being your father's son,
yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Does he tell you how to deal with that?
Yeah, listen, we're Muslims, so we pray every day, and I feel like that's what sort of keeps our head switched on with everything. And to be honest with you, when you're training as hard as I am and you're sparring and you're getting the work in, I feel like that's sort of what gives you the confidence. I feel like him speaking to me, of course it helps, and it gives me a level of calmness and confidence because he's been there and done it. But it's only me who's going to go out there and fight, Spence, you know what I'm saying? So every day in the gym, I put everything into it, and I feel like going into the fight, it's going to show.
Outside of boxing, who inspires you? Who you know? Let me rephrase that. Actually, it would have been easy for you not to have taken up boxing.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to become a boxer?
Just, I didn't listen. When I was a kid, I didn't have intentions of being a boxer. My dad never wanted any of us to box. And then when I hit like 17, even a bit earlier, 16, I was just in and out of the gym, and I found it a lot easier than other kids, and I just thought, you know, if I dedicate myself to this sport, I could be really good. So, of course, I'm going to say my dad inspired me because he was one of the greatest. But I feel like I've had to put the work in. Doors have been open, but I've had to work hard to get here, you know what I mean?
And when you are, like I said it, already said it, when you are your father's son, they're big shoes to fill, and there is a lot of expectation. Do you feel that pressure? Or do you feed off it?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's a privilege. Pressure's a privilege. I feel like I'm not in a position where I can just sort of switch off, you know what I'm saying? And I know what's riding on it, and I know what family name I've got behind me, and I am trying to keep that lit. I am trying to carry on the legacy, but I think, look, people are saying the pressure's on. For me, it's just about getting out there and doing what I've done in the gym, you know what I mean? Learning, and I feel like I've grown a hell of a lot since I turned pro, and I feel like not just as a boxer but as a man, and I feel like come Saturday night you're going to see that I really am confident going into this fight, and I'm not going to go in there looking for the knockout, but if I can take him out, I am going to take him out in fashion.
You talk about putting the work in the gym. I know you're up there in Manchester now working with Jamie Moore, Nigel Travis. What's that environment like?
Best environment you could wake up to and go to every morning. You know what I mean? I feel like as a boxer, it is a hard sport. It is a dangerous sport. So if you can make it that little bit more fun and vibing in the gym, I feel like Nigel's absolutely hilarious. He's a madman, and then you got Jamie, who also has the crack, but very, very serious, and he's hard on us. And then you've got the likes of Jack Cattrall in there, who's watching me spar, and he's sparring me as well. So just soaking up the experience and getting in the ring with people like that, undisputed champs in my eyes, you know what I mean, in everyone's eyes. So big up Jack. We've got Conor Walker, Pat Brown, Conor Tudsbury, and my older brother Sammy, who I don't like to disappoint, you know what I mean. I like to impress him every day, and the gym's buzzing at the minute. If you only knew, I feel like we could have a camera squad down there every day, and have a hit reality TV show in that gym, because it's going off every day.
You talk about that, and people don't realise the importance of, like, I get the military side of boxing, and you're going into the gym and the pressures and everything else, but that adds extra pressure. So you do need that. You do need that bit of fun and that little bit of relaxation in the gym as well. And you couldn't have got two funnier guys than Jamie Moore, who I've known forever, and Nigel Travis. I mean, them guys are just like, yeah, they know their stuff and they know when the time is right and whatnot, but they're just pranksters, right?
That's what I like about them. When it's time to be serious, it's time to be serious. But realistically, I can chat to them both like on a family level, and that's what I always wanted in a coach. So it wasn't, when I first went there, I wasn't even planning to stay in Manchester. What was going to happen was I went to spar Jack Catchell and Cameron Vong, and then after 3 days, I big up Sam Jones for that as well. Sam was the one that lined that up for me. So he told me, go down there, test it out. And in my head, I was going to move back to Dubai. I was comfortable out there, you know what I mean? And I ended up being there for 3 days, and my older brother said, listen, I'm staying here. So for me at first, it was a bit of a shock, because obviously first time I've even been in Manchester. So 3 days after, I'm looking to live there. But I've been there for over a year now, and every day it's got better and better. And I feel like me as a person, I've got better, and as a boxer, I've got better. And I just can't wait to really show people what I'm about. I feel like my last performance was my best performance till date in Saudi, and I feel like it's only going to get better from here.
Let's talk about the main event, Daniel Dubois, Oleksandr Usyk.
Yeah.
Did you give Daniel a shot in that?
100%. You got to give him a shot. I feel like the first one was a heavy shot. Listen, I'm not going to say it was clean or low. I'm standing on the fence a little bit, but I do feel like Daniel Dubois has got the power to light anyone off, as he's shown in his last fight with AJ. And I really respect both men. I love Usyk. I really, really love Usyk. I love watching him. I love what he's about. As a man, I think he's a great man. He stands for his country, and he bigs up his family. He's a proper man. And then you've got Daniel Dubois, who's literally, he's put our country on. You can't knock what Daniel Dubois has done. He's been the underdog in so many fights, and I feel like he does have the power to do Usyk. I think it's going to be very, very hard, because Usyk's a generational talent, but I'm really looking forward to watching the fight.
How instrumental do you think the crowd will be in that fight, you know, if it does get hard and it goes into those later rounds, because that's when Usyk comes into his own? How much can they play a part for Daniel there?
Well, look, AJ wasn't a small crowd, was it? AJ Dubois, and I feel like he come out there and he looked like an old Mike Tyson, the way he just bossed out. It didn't look like the crowd fazed him, but again, Usyk's not AJ, so I don't know. I really feel like Daniel Dubois could shock the world, you know what I mean? I feel like the first one he basically did, in my opinion, and I was lucky enough to fight on that, be co-main event, and I'm lucky enough to fight on this one, you know what I mean? Big up Frank Warren and Queensbury team, giving me an amazing platform, an amazing opportunity, and I won't disappoint.
Well, listen, we're looking forward to it, Saturday night, that main event, but also seeing you develop as a fighter. I'm looking forward to you on the undercard again.
Appreciate you,
Adam,
all
bless
the
you,
best,
mate.
man.
Well
So
done.
thank you, mate.
Well, Louis Edmondson, always good to see you, my friend. How's things?
I'm all good, thanks, Spence. I'm all good. How's you?
Yeah, really good, mate. Do you know what? I'm sitting here and I'm looking at your name on the bill and seeing what you've achieved in this short space of time. I go back to 2019. Remember when you were turning pro, making your debut, been following your career all the way through, really. And things have gone from strength to strength. Did you ever think that they were going to move as fast as that?
It's not really. No, it's you always want to be there and you always have them dreams, but actual being there is different, isn't it?
Because I remember when we was in a gym in Bushy, we was in the jab gym in Bushy, and you was waiting for an opportunity. The opportunities weren't really coming around. You know, people not really giving you that breakthrough moment, and then you got that breakthrough moment. You picked up the British title against Dan Aziz, brilliant win. Last time out for the Commonwealth title as well. Now you find yourself fighting in front of 90,000 people, Wembley Stadium. It's like a pinch yourself moment, really, isn't it?
I think it is, and people keep messaging me all week, really, saying like, "Can you believe you're here now?" and this and that, and it's one of them. I think Yeah, it's amazing, but we need to stay focused on the job at hand, and I don't think till we get there, then it'll be like, wow, we're here. But for the minute, it's just staying focused, ticking each goal off each day, part of the process, and getting to that moment where we walk through the ropes.
You've always had that focus. You've always had that self-belief. As I said, I remember speaking to you in the early parts of your career, and you always said you was going to take this journey and it was going to go. And now you've proved that you've actually done that as well. Where does that self-belief come from?
I think it comes from the hard work and dedication I put in. I don't leave no stone unturned, down to my food, to my training, to my rest. I'm not one of these fighters that's here, there, everywhere messing about, and when I'm in, I'm locked in. So I know what I put in, so I know I'll reap the rewards.
See, and that's the persona you give off, though, that people think that you're a bit of a joker and you clown around and whatnot. But when it comes to hard work, dedication, you only get out what you put in this sport. You're that guy, aren't you?
100%, and even down to my sleep, I'm a bit funny, really. I'm funny with times. I'm funny with, so I don't leave nothing. If I've got to eat a food, I'm down to the gram. If I'm training at this time, I'm up at this time. I'll eat my breakfast. I'll let that digest. Then I'm in the gym. I don't miss nothing.
How important to you is like family? You got your lovely girlfriend with you as well. She's always by your side. How important is it?
Wife to be now, Spencer.
Wife to be. So there you go, breaking news.
Wife to be. Wife to be. Never did I think I'd see the day, but we're here now.
Wow.
But yeah, very important to me. They're always there.
How she managed to tame you, mate?
We
couldn't do it. We couldn't do it.
I don't know. But yeah, it's one of them. But she's managed to do it somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've gone into many fights as the underdog. You went there against Davies, and it was like, is it going to be too much too soon? You delivered on that night. You won the Commonwealth title last time out. Now you're going against Daniel Lapkin, who's a tough cookie, a tough guy to beat, 6'6", southpaw, undefeated, part of Team Usyk. Why accept that challenge?
100%. I mean, a lot of people was turning this opportunity down. A lot of good names. I'm not going to go into them. That's their business. But I got the call and I took that opportunity straight away. And we're very confident in my ability. We're very confident to adapt in the situations that need to be, because you can't be the same fighter in every fight. You have to adapt. You have to box different. You have to overcome different hurdles. And yeah, it's definitely a fight that we wanted. And we cannot wait.
You like collecting a little bit of bling, don't you? You got the British title. You got the Commonwealth title. Nice little watch on your wrist as well. Now we're going for the IBF Intercontinental.
I think there's 3 belts on the line.
Yeah.
IBF, WBA and WBO International. So another 3 on the line. So, after this, we could be 5 belts, Spence.
Nice, mate. Nice. Listen, do you like being the underdog?
Yeah, I can thrive off that. I think it brings the best out of me. And these big occasions, I know it's a different game, but it's back to the amateurs. When it got to the national finals and stuff, you'd always see the best of me. When you have to see the best of me, you will do. And I really believe Saturday you're going to see the best of me.
You turn over, you're boxing small halls, 4-rounders, etc., etc. You move very, very fast for a professional. Now we go Wembley Stadium. It don't get bigger, does it? Like Undisputed, I want to ask you about this fight in a minute, but boxing on the undercard of this historic fight is a magical moment.
It doesn't get bigger than this, and I'm very happy to be part of it. But alongside of that, we're not here just to take part. We're here to cement a good win and announce ourselves on the world stage.
I want to talk to you about another prospect as well, Ezra Taylor. I've seen you two going back and forth. Is that fight going to happen? Is it not going to happen? I know you're not going to focus on that now because you've got another job in hand.
Yeah.
Is that something we could see down in the future?
Well, let's see. To be fair, I thought this fight was going to happen on this show. To be honest, that's what I was preparing for. For whatever reason or not, we was told he wasn't ready, or for whatever reason. So we've moved on. We've moved on now. I believe he's mandatory for the British title. So maybe that fight will happen, but kind of forgot about him and moved on. So all eyes on Daniel Lapin, and maybe that fight will happen, maybe not.
Yeah, listen, let's move on to the main event on Saturday night. Undisputed. They boxed before 2 years ago. The controversy surrounding all that one. Was it a low blow? Was it a not low blow? We won't go into it now because now it doesn't matter.
Body shot. It was a body shot.
I'm with you, mate.
It was a body shot. I believe that as anybody else, it would have been stopped on a body shot.
you're a boxer, right?
Yeah.
We know where we know where the belt line is. That's fine, all right. The shot lands on the belt line.
Bits and pieces, not that high, are they?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So if you know, you know.
Yeah,
And anyway, like we put that in the past. Daniel's taken a lot of strength from that.
Yep.
He goes in here as the underdog again, but do you think he can do it?
I think so, and I believe he will do it. I think he's going to do it. I think he's younger, he's fresher, he's coming off the back of some good wins, and I think it's his time. I think Usyk, he had 2 hard fights with Fury, AJ a couple of times. I think he took a little bit out of him. He's 39 years old now. I think it's Dubois' time.
You put all those factors into place and you go momentum, experience, momentum over experience. Does momentum beat experience and all that? But boxing is all about timing, right?
Everybody has their day, don't they? And it's I think it's Dubois' time now.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, listen, we're looking forward to that one, mate. Can't wait for that one. Can't wait for you, by the way, as well,
Spence,
man.
big performance incoming. Trust me. Remember I said this?
I am, mate, and you remember it as well.
Yeah.
How does Louis Emerson steal the show? Because he's a tough cookie to crack, this kid. He's going to be awkward. You going to take the fight to him?
100%. He's had 300 amateur fights. His team Usyk, he's southpaw, he's 6'6". It sounds horrible, doesn't it? It don't sound like a good night for anybody. But I believe in our preparation. I believe in the fight, and no matter what way possible, we're leaving there with a win.
You know what? When a fight like that is presented to you, because stylistically you just go, don't want those sort of fights. How do you come to the point of going, yes, please?
It's funny because we got offered this fight. I was meant to fight Ben Whittaker in Saudi when he fought Whittaker the first time. I signed a contract and whatever to fight him. For whatever reason, that didn't happen. Then they offered us this fight, this lapping fight. But it wasn't the right time. We said, no, thank you, not for us. Beat Dan Aziz, beat Kajawa. They offered it to us again. We couldn't say yes quick enough. This is the time.
Do we see that Ben Whittaker fight happening anytime soon?
Again, it's not down to no fault of my own that fight didn't happen.
I remember you calling it out.
Yeah.
You rock up with your shades on. I remember it all, mate.
Remember them shades, Spence? them cheeky little Versace pair. You remember them?
I do, mate. I'm waiting to see them again now, man. What's going on?
We've got a new pair. They're going to come out soon. They're going to come. But listen, if that fight was to arise again, I think I've proved fighting Dan Aziz in my 10th fight. If you look back through my record, I've only ever fought 3 people with losing records. I'll fight anybody, and I truly will.
Yeah, I know that, mate. I know that. And listen, we're looking forward to seeing you on Saturday night. Do us a favour, look down that lens and tell our viewers, our listeners, talkSPORT are going to be covering the fight on Saturday, why they should tune in.
Big win incoming. There's going to be bish, bash, bosh, Weatherspoon, windmill. It's incoming. Watch it. It's coming.
There you go. You heard it first from Louis Edmondson. And he might even wear the sunglasses on the ring wall. Who knows?
They're coming, Spence. They're coming.
Cheers, Louis.
Cheers, Spence.
Well, Solomon Dacres, always good to see you, mate. How's things?
Yeah, all good, man. All good.
Good. Well, listen, last time I see you, things didn't quite go your way.
No.
David Adelaide, you got caught on the top of the head. Happens in boxing.
Yeah.
How have you been since then?
Yeah, all good. I mean, it's heavyweight boxing, and at the end of the day, it weren't like a bad performance. I was losing rounds, got clipped on top of the head first round, and I was up after 4 or 5 seconds, but the ref waved me off. So, it's just one of them things. It happens. Heavyweight boxing, no heavyweight champion out there has never, took a knock. So it's just one of them things. You brush it off. We've been working hard in the gym, and now's the time to bounce back.
You go in against a very tough opponent this time on the undercard, Ukrainian. Unbeaten, 22 fights, 19 of them by KO. Explain to me this, mate.
Yeah.
Normally when a fighter gets beaten the way that you got beaten, there's a rebuilding process. You've chose to go straight back into deep water.
Yeah, well that's the thing, there's usually people in my position, they'd be looking to, fight a couple of journeymen, get their confidence back, rebuild. But, this is boxing, and now, we ain't got that luxury. I'm still capable of, I think, of, being up there with the top guys. I've got all the skills, all the attributes, and I'm confident, and I need to just get myself back in the picture. I haven't got the luxury to, wait around. If I don't take these kind of fights, you're there 1 minute and you're down the bottom. I'm selling tickets and that, so you've got to take your opportunities. I could easily have, if I turn this down, I'll be on a small horse show and rebuilding, blah blah blah. Get straight back in there, dust myself off, straight back in the mix. Straight back on the saddle. Sachenko is, like I say, he's a very heavy-handed guy. He's coming here. Probably fair to say that
after your last performance, you're going to start that underdog in this one. How do you turn this script up?
Yeah, man. I know for a fact, that I'm going to be deemed as maybe the underdog. But do you know what it is this time? Like, even last time out, no one saw what I'm capable of. Like, you know what I mean? It was didn't get started really. So now I'm going to show what I'm capable of, and maybe because of the last one, they haven't seen that. So, they might be not expecting what's going to be coming really.
Great amateur pedigree. You went 9-0 as a pro as well. It was sort of like the coming of age fight, if you like, against Adelaide. Didn't go there. You jumped straight back on the saddle. You go in again, but now you're the underdog. Normally you're the favourite. Do you like being the underdog?
It doesn't bother me, either way, because at the end of the day, I'm a fighter. I'm in there to win. So being the underdog or whatever they call it, it's all external factors to me. I want to just get in there, and it's always better, when you prove someone wrong, and it's going to be more of a buzz for me, getting that win back 22-0 guy. People are going to say, Solday, because he is the real deal here, he's bounced back, and it's going to show what I'm made of. It's going to show what I'm made of more than anything.
See, me as an ex-fighter, I used to like that. I used to like that whole underdog thing, like where they tag you with that label, because it takes a lot of pressure off, and you can go out there and just focus on what you want to do. And like I say, you had that label on you where you had your target on your back in many ways. People wanting to take that scalp. Yeah. So that's a nice position to be in.
Yeah, man. I'm just gonna get it all back, and I'm just really looking forward to, like I said, showing what I'm capable of. I didn't show what I'm capable of last time, so that's the main thing.
Wembley Stadium, 90,000 people, pinch yourself moment. What's that like?
Do you know what? It's all great and that, but at the minute I can't really, engulf myself in it, because I'm just so focused on that fight that it doesn't matter as long as there's a boxing ring in the middle. Probably after then I'll look back and I'll see. But for now, I'm just fully focused on getting in that ring, whether there's 90 people or 90,000 people or however many in between. Just got to get the win. That's all that matters to me at the minute.
Let's talk about the main event. Daniel Dubois, Oleksandr Usyk, undisputed. I mean, what a moment for British boxing at Wembley Stadium as well. You're a part of that on the undercard, but do you give Daniel a chance?
He's always got a chance, Daniel. He's a huge puncher.
Have you sparred him?
I've sparred him multiple times. He's actually my first spar back when after that David Adelaide fight, I sparred him in January. He was getting ready for Parker. Daniel's he's very heavy-handed, probably one of the hardest hitters out there. And in the heavyweight division, if you can hit like that, you've got a chance against any man if you hit him on the top of the head.
When you're talking about momentum, obviously is with Daniel Dubois, the experiences with Oleksandr Usyk, but there's always a passing and a baton and a timing. We haven't seen that, by the way, from Usyk, because we have seen no deterioration in him at all. 2 good wins over Fury. But do you feel that sometimes the momentum can outweigh the experience?
Potentially, but Usyk's got momentum as well. When you look at it, he's got back-to-back defeats against Joshua, Fury. You don't beat Tyson Fury twice. If you're not something special.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? On a technical level. Do you know what I mean? So unless he really gets old overnight, which we haven't seen yet, it's more in Usyk's favour. I'd say the momentum.
Where would you rank Oleksandr Usyk as in, like, he comes through on Saturday night? Where does that put him in history?
There, a lot of people like to get blinded by nostalgia, and all the older fighters are always the best top 10 ever. But if you look at it, when you look back at Usyk, you can put him in that top 10, 15 of all time. Cruiserweight, undisputed champion, heavyweight, undisputed champion. Same as like you have at the Holyfields, and and he's someone that probably the further back you go in the years, he can mix it with all those guys as well.
Another guy you'll have a keen eye on, Lawrence Okoli. He's going in against Kevin Lorena. That's a dangerous fight to take, by the way. WBC number 1, WBO number 1. Lorena's a dangerous guy.
Yeah, he's a dangerous guy. You've seen him, hurt a few guys. Even Dubois, he had him all over the canvas at one point, didn't he? Didn't finish the job. He also, I think, he hurt Justice Huni in their fight.
Yeah.
Didn't quite get the job done. So he's dangerous. He's a dangerous guy. Short ass southpaw. He's got heavy hands, so he's dangerous.
Could he pull off the upset there?
He could do. Anything can happen. Okoli's very long arms. I'm sure he'll try and keep him right on the end of that reach. Try and walk him onto them backhands. The southpaw with the orthodox. That's what he'll probably be looking for. Line him up with a straight backhand. So I'm sure they have the game plan, but we'll see how it goes.
We've got some big heavyweight fights on there. We've got obviously the main event. We've got Lawrence Okoli, Lorena. Yeah. We've got yourself. Yeah. How do you walk away with people talking about you?
Yeah. Just looking at me at this fight, going, you know what, Soldaika's he's a serious fighter, and watching it and going, you know what, he can do something here, and that's the main thing. He's showing people, you know what, I'm not nothing to be messed with.
Give us a little prediction on the main event. Can Dubois do it? Who do you think?
I'd have to go towards Usyk. He's beaten before, convincingly. He's never been beaten as of yet. So you have to go with Usyk, I think.
Solomon Dacres, always great speaking to you, mate. Looking forward to seeing you come out victorious.
Thank you.
Good luck, mate.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Kevin Lorena, always a pleasure to see you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
You're looking very fresh. You look very well.
Thank
you. You look like you've had a good camp.
Very good camp, extremely good camp. About 2 months ago, I defended the Bridgerweight belt, so it was a good pre-camp, should I say. So I had a very long camp for that fight, and obviously on this fight we got 5.5 weeks notice, but I'd already come off a fight, so I couldn't have asked for a better preparation, as per se.
And also, we know that you've knocked down the guy who's fighting in the main event 3 times. You'd come up from cruiserweight. Can I just talk to you about that first of all, because this is a massive fight that you've got on Saturday night, but when you look back on the Dubois fight, do you ever think what might have been had he not been able to get up against you?
It will always be at the back of my mind, but having said that, that fight probably was the biggest victory in my career. I learned so much. Up until that point, that was the first time I ever found myself on my arse. In 10 years as a professional, in sparring, in fights, that was the first time I had to face adversity. And it came on a big stage, which is unfortunate for me, but it also made me believe in myself and know what I can do as a guy from down in South Africa. But I learned a lot from that fight. You can never look at the past. I can only look to the future with hope. And for me, it's just another great opportunity to get on a show like this, which shows that fight with Daniel did a lot to my share price, and the boxing world then woke up to who is Kevin Lorena. So it is what it is, and I don't live with demons. I live with hope.
We talk about it all the time. We've been talking about that fight a lot in the build-up to this one. Before we go on to yours, does Dubois hit very hard?
Extremely hard. I think.
Is he capable of beating Oleksandr Usyk?
Yes, I've told everybody my opinion. Wouldn't say it's an expert opinion, but as a fighter who shared the ring with him, he's a concussive puncher. It's no secret. He's got immense power. The first half of the fight is the most important half of the fight, in my opinion, for him. And but having said that, he's in there with arguably one of the best technical boxers of our era. And Oleksandr knows and knows how to find a way to win. But having said that, he's in there with a formidable, ferocious puncher. So 50-50 fight. I know a lot of people say that, but that's my opinion.
We've got a lot of love for you here. We see you a lot. We know you're managed by Spencer Brown. We know that you guys are the great South Africans that want to bring boxing to the fore. We want boxing to be big in South Africa as well. How it isn't, I don't know, given how many boxers there are, how tough the people are, how physical sports, rugby, the fast bowlers in cricket, that it should be a big sport in South Africa, shouldn't it? Yeah. Actually physically in South Africa with big events, and hopefully you'll help to generate a lot of that as well.
We're trying our best, to put the South African boxing on the map. As you mentioned, I'm managed by Spencer Brown and Peter Smith. He's been with me since day one. Peter's been my trainer since I was an 18-year-old kid in the gym with no amateur fights. A lot of people forget that about me. I've got into Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, now Wembley Arena, in a co-main event without an amateur.
Stadium.
Wembley Stadium, sorry.
Yeah, the arena's just over there. The stadium is that big one over there, mate. Don't think you're only walking out in front of 10,000. It's 90,000.
Without an amateur fight. So I have to pay respect and the credit to my team who've helped me to hone my skills in order to get here. But at the end of the day, boxing in South Africa is alive and thriving, but I don't think it gets the recognition it deserves.
Why is that?
I can't answer that, guys. I can tell you one thing. On the same night, on the 19th of July, the next morning, we have a South African WBO champion fighting Bam Rodriguez. If he walks down the road, no one recognizes him. Kafu. Yeah. He's in a unification bout. So it's our duty as fighters to take South African boxing to the world, and that's what I've always set out and always tried to do. And by getting on a massive card like the Tyson Fury Chisora card when I fought Dan, and now this card when I'm up against Lawrence, it just shows that we're doing something right, but now it's up to us as fighters to convert. And that's what I want to do, because should I convert you?
You are converting it, but I think because you're renowned as one of these standout figures, what you need to do is get in the ear of Turki Al-Sheikh whenever you're around him and say, you need to promote some events for us in South Africa.
I think that's
because I think it would be really big, to be honest. I think it would be really big there. I think people would really support it if they just put an explosion under it in terms of finance.
Most definitely.
Many of us have been to South Africa. I've only been to Johannesburg. I went to the rugby there. I was making a documentary at the time about Oscar Pistorius, who I know you know, and I knew Oscar for many years, and I was very impressed by just how much people love sport then. When I talked to anyone about boxing when I was there, everyone wanted to talk about boxing, so it was really strange.
Very, very strange. I think what people don't realize, the fight that I had my title defense 2 months ago, it was my first time as a South African myself fighting in an arena. It was promoted by a new promoter called Legacy Boxing Promotions, who's Peter's brother Sean and his partner Devolt. And they put on this event. I was the headliner, and we managed to put 8,000 people into an arena, which shows that it's alive, but it hasn't. No one has been willing to take that step to try to do it, kick it off. It was an electric event, but it just shows you that sometimes you just need the help and the guidance. Like you said, if His Excellency wants to get involved, why not?
Right, so we're going to get on to Lawrence Coley in a minute. One other thing to ask you, and it's weirdly, I'm talking about your 2 losses. The other one was to Justice Hooney in a brilliant fight where you gave him trouble late on as well in that fight, if I recall. He's just been in the ring and completely outboxed Fabio Wardley, who got victory from the jaws of defeat by his doggedness and power. It's a sign of I think you're fortunate in a way that you fought certain people, even though you might not have beaten them, those 2 guys at heavyweight. We can talk about you and benchmark where you are in the sport, and we know you are thereabouts, and you're still developing.
Most definitely. I think that's what I always mention. I always go back to the fact that I never had any amateur experience, so I'm learning on the job as a professional. And unfortunately, I've had to learn against some big names. But having said that, the Daniel fight, whether it could have gone my way or didn't, it is what it is. The Justice Hooney fight, once again, we were faced with a lot of turmoil and adversity. My mother passed away the day before the fight, but no excuses. I chose to go into the ring. But I probably shouldn't have, but I thought I could do it, but I'm only a human being. When I got back to the corner in round 4, Peter said to me, how do you feel? I said, I'm exhausted. And you shouldn't feel like that after a long camp, But obviously with the emotional toll that it took on me, I was tired and I was maybe mentally defeated, but we still tried our best to put on a brave performance. But Justice Hooney's a very good boxer. But it just
as he showed.
Yeah, he's a very good boxer. Probably in terms of heavyweight, one of the more skilled, refined boxers I've been in there with in terms of his movement and his boxing IQ and ability. But once the left lands, then I know that we can put the guys in some serious trouble, and that's what I plan on doing.
Well, you say that about boxing skills. Lawrence Coley, your opponent on Saturday night. One of the criticisms of him is that he's got a massive right hand. He's got a decent jab. He does smash and grab a lot, we call it. Smash, then grab. He's a much bigger guy now. He's an unusual fighter. He's not renowned for his skills. And you're being seen as the guy that could go in and under in this fight, under his jab, under his right hand, and give him a lot of problems.
Without giving away too much of the game plan, Gaz.
Did I just give it away?
Well,
it's obvious what you need to do.
I have to get on the inside, but it's how we get in. That's the key approach here. Lawrence, I think he's not going to be the Lawrence we saw from the past. I think it's fair to say that his fight against Chris Billum-Smith, you can't look at a fight like that and go, that's how he's going to fight, because he was pulling a lot of weight. He's a big guy who was making cruiserweight. So I'm preparing and expecting the best version of Lawrence Coley. And what is the best version of Lawrence Coley? A tall, rangy guy, got a good backhand, long right hand, and he's going to try to set me up with it. It's my duty to take that away from him.
And he's a kind of single punch guy, in my view. He's not a combination puncher. He's not a volume puncher. He's a guy that creeps into range, almost like a Deontay Wilder.
If you let
That's
him,
what
yes.
Ben Davison has called him almost. He's almost like a Deontay Wilder. He's almost like a Fabio Wardley. He's looking to just land that punch.
Look, I suppose we're all looking to just land that punch when it comes at heavyweight. That's all it takes. But he's obviously got his game plan, and we've prepared for what we need to do. My trainer, Peter, our style is no secret. We get on the inside, we try our best to be explosive and throw a lot of combination punches, but sometimes it's more than that, you know. It's keeping a fighter off balance, you know, making him move to positions and angles that he doesn't want to be in. But I'm expecting a tough fight. I know that they're preparing for a tough Kevin Arena, and I'm preparing for an extremely tough home favorite in Lawrence Okoli.
Yeah.
It's no secret that I'm the underdog, but I am coming here to piss on the parade. I'm coming to disrupt the party, and it's no secret.
There's the headline. He's coming to piss on the parade.
I'm not here to.
Yeah?
I'll be honest with you, Gareth. I'm not here to fill numbers and to get a paycheck. I'm here to win because I know what a win does for me. I almost won against Huni. I controversially could have won against Daniel, and those fights have taught me a lot. When you have a guy hurt, to put him away.
Because he's #1 with the WBC, 4 with the WBO. You win this, and you're right up there, aren't you?
Most definitely.
You'll be calling for Oleksandr Usyk.
Anybody. You know, at the end of the day, when I started boxing as an 18-year-old boy, no one besides my trainers had belief in me that I would make it this far. So now it's my duty to keep on going, and I don't know when the journey's going to end, but just to keep on making history for myself. History meaning that what I believe I can do, and it's a tick box exercise, and everything that I've set out to do and want to do is what I'm currently doing. And now we co-main event at Wembley Stadium. So it just shows we're on the right track, and now it's my duty to convert. As I said, we're in front of the polls, we need to convert.
Needs to convert. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Always a great interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Kevin Lorena there, who I spoke to. You spoke to Lawrence Okoli and Adam Hamed. Kevin Lorena, knowing that this is a tough fight, but this is a fight that potentially projects him to the echelons of the heavyweight division, upper echelons.
Absolutely. Look, you look at what happened with him and Daniel Dubois just a couple of years ago.
Knocked him down 3 times.
3 times. He was this far away from beating Dubois, and then we fast forward a couple of years, Justice Huni, the fight before last, and he was on the brink of winning that, you know, on the verge of winning it, and then it didn't go his way. He's small for a heavyweight, but he punches when his opponent punches, and that makes him a very, very dangerous fighter. It's a tough fight here for Lawrence Okoli, it really is, because Kevin Lorena is a live opponent.
And Lawrence Okoli, what was he to you today in terms of the way you spoke to him? To me, he's really big, he's really focused, and he really believes in himself. He knows he's got the power.
Listen, he's a cruiserweight world champion, a bridgerweight world champion, and he's chasing that heavyweight world title, and he doesn't want to be taking sort of slow steps. He wants to be fast-tracked. He wants the big names. You know, he's talking about the big names of the division. He knows this is a potential banana skin, but he said, look, Spence, if I can't deal with Kevin Lorena, how am I going to deal with the big boys? That's the way that he sees it. So he wants to stay active, stay busy, and develop as a heavyweight.
You got a pick in that one or not?
I'm going Lawrence Okoli. I just think that the height, the reach, the power of Okoli will be too much for Kevin Lorena. But love Kevin Lorena. I love what he stands for, and I know he'll give it a good go.
South African boxing,
Absolutely.
all of those things.
Absolutely, lovely guy.
Adam Hamed, a lot of pressure on the name Hamed. I've seen his 2 brothers and his mum today. Naz arrives tomorrow. I hope you're going to get hold of Naz for an interview tomorrow. Listen, you 2 are mates anyway. You outboxed him in sparring years ago, didn't you? About 55 years ago. But
let Naz tell you that story.
No, I know. But Adam Hamed, beautiful human being. 2 victories recently, 1 in Libya. Thought he was great to speak to. He's very, very tuned in. I spoke to Sam Jones earlier about him, his manager. How far can Adam go in your view?
How ironic that he made his debut, Adam Hamed, out in Poland on Daniel Dubois, Oleksandr Usyk won.
22 months
and he
ago.
said, what an opportunity for me to box in front of 90,000 people here for the return in this historic fight. He's a lovely kid, a humble kid, as is his dad, by the way, as well. But he's very, very humble, very religious, and he knows that he wants to just take baby steps, build into it, but he didn't start boxing until he was 16, 17 years of age. He knows he's got big shoes to fill, but that probably is something that you could feed off as well. I like Adam Hamed. There's a long way to go, but watch his space.
Finally, Eddie Hearn has been talking to talkSPORT today. Says he's been talking to Turki Al Sheikh, who we believe is here on Saturday night with his entourage, and that Jake Paul is now on side with Turki Al Sheikh. Well, anyway, I won't spoil it for you. Have a watch of this.
The fight that's making some noise as well this week, Anthony Joshua could be in line for a fight against Jake Paul. Is there anything you can tell us about that?
I mean, in the mad world that we live in, you might just see it. You know, I mean, when this fight was first mentioned by Jake Paul, I kind of laughed and thought that'd be nice, wouldn't it? And then, you know, meetings with His Excellency last week, who I think realises the commercial size of that fight and that opportunity. So if Jake Paul was mad enough to do it, I think Anthony would probably say yes as well and do everybody a favour and end it all, you know, for Mr. Paul in boxing. So, like I said, not really a fight we've been targeting, but if it's presented to us, why not?
From Tom and Jerry to Tom and Tom, Jerry and Jerry, fake boxing and misfits, Turki Al-Sheikh and Jake Paul, who we saw in a photograph last week in New York, are now collaborating. And Turki Al-Sheikh maybe is getting the promotion, as is Eddie Hearn, that Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua might just be a thing. Hang on a minute. Is that real?
I know. It's crazy when you think about it, but could that become a reality? Of course it could. It's business. Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua would do huge numbers.
Huge.
That is a fact. Absolutely huge
How many
numbers
on Netflix Live? Come on.
It would be one of the biggest fights
50
of modern
million,
times.
60
Oh,
million?
easily.
Yeah.
It would be huge. Like, so from the business side of things, it's a fight that could happen. Do I think it will happen? Do I think Jake Paul's mad enough for it to happen? Guess what? I do.
I do as well. Said it a long time ago.
And Anthony Joshua just quickly said, why wouldn't I do that? Why wouldn't I go and knock the of Jake Paul? What many people want me to do? Why wouldn't he do that? So look, from a business point of view, Anthony Joshua, that's what he'll want to do.
As she's here, I've got to get her in. What a performance, Ellie Scotney. You were elite class on Friday night in New York. Oleksandr Usyk nicked it earlier in the week.
I need it as well.
No, it's very. Listen, you must be pleased with that performance. Career greatest performance. I said this about you, and I hope you get this in the right way. Every man I've spoken to said, I want to watch her box again. A woman boxer who wants to get women and men watching them is going to be a superstar, and that is you, my love.
I appreciate you, Gareth. I say if someone says you fight like a man, that's the biggest compliment. Don't say I look like one, please, but if you fight like one, it's a blessing. And yeah, I just felt like my biggest night, I put in my biggest performance when the pressure was on, and yeah, all thanks be to
You could
God.
fill out Wembley Stadium one day, believe me.
Maybe arena, but
Do you know what? It was a great opportunity for you and a great opportunity for women's boxing as well. I think what Jake Paul is doing, Amanda Serrano over there, you know, with their promotion and pushing women's boxing, the way that they're pushing it is only good for you girls, but you've got to deliver. And you know, we're big fans of women's boxing because you do always put it on the line. You do always deliver. I mean, look at your little eye. Look, she put it on there. Yeah, no.
I thought you were going to say my big nose.
No,
there.
no, mate. No, your nose is still looking great. But what I'm saying is you girls always deliver, and you've done that at the weekend.
Oh, no.
Undisputed next, yeah?
Yeah, that's where my focus is. So
Lovely.
end of the year.
And
I just wanted to drag you in and congratulate you.
Just
that was
quickly
all.
before you go, do we get that undisputed? Will it be on these shores or will it be in America?
It's going to be in America. It's not making it to Catford, but it's
So we got to pay more pay-per-view money, yeah?
Hey, come on, that was free on the weekend.
The Queen of Catford, we had to drag her in. Watch that fight back if you haven't seen it. Cheers, Ellie. Thank you very much. Ellie Scotney there. Incredible performance. Finally, and I agree with you, I think Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua will happen. As I thought Jake Paul and Canelo would happen, we had to drag Ellie in then. Finally, Eddie Hearn and Conor Benn are setting a deadline for Chris Eubank Jr. They're not letting him play them and play around with them this time. He either signs or he doesn't, and he gets the fight done on September the 20th. Will this flush Chris Eubank Jr. out in your view?
24 hours will tell us that, and I think Eddie's right. You know, in that, you know, he says, listen, we want an answer. No, Chris Eubank Jr. wants it on his terms, and Napa are talking about nearly being there, and it's just the finer details that they need to get over the line. What those final details are, I'm not sure, but Eddie's now trying to push by saying, give us the next 24 hours, give us that answer, let's get the fight. Will the fight happen? Yes, it does happen. I think it's a big stadium fight, September the 20th. We get that over the line, but that will be great.
We needed more security here today behind us. I know I've been doing a bit of it myself. Our minders have been doing it. There's a lot of activity going on. There's going to be activities all week. From him and me, it's good night from the Fight Night Daily podcast. We will see you tomorrow.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.